is up, everybody? Starchwreck Models with you here again for another Things and Stuff review, the show where we review things and stuff. And today we have the 50th anniversary set from Revell, Germany, featuring the 1/600 scale Classic Enterprise and the 1/500 scale JJ Mobile from, it says Into Darkness, but if you want to get really technical here, the Into Darkness ship did not have the Registry on the bottom. And I'm not talking about the refit, I mean in general, it didn't have that on there, which is interesting, and I wonder if it was a mistake, because I remember reading recently that apparently between 2009 and Into Darkness, apparently they updated the CG model, and you can kind of see that, especially when it's falling to Earth. You can see all the Aztecing. It's a lot more pronounced, sort of. I don't know, it looks different, and apparently they thickened and widened the neck. They did a bunch of stuff to it, apparently. So I'm wondering if they just accidentally left it off, because it seems kind of weird choice to just, oh, we have no Registry on the bottom whatsoever, not even the side ones or a regular one right there. So anyway, but having said that, it does come with the decal, which is very nice. So this, as far as I know, from the plastic anyway, and the decals, these are the exact same releases as the regular 1/600 and 1/500 scale kits. There's a couple differences, well, one big difference pretty much that we'll note, and it also comes with the, you know, glue and paint and stuff, but yeah, basically the same kits. I have one of these already, but I wanted one of these and I thought it'd be cool to get the dual pack. It's nice box art. You can see that. I've had a look at it, so the things are all open. And of course it's a Revell Europe exclusive, so it's hard to get in America. I love this picture, just all the sprues laid out. I think that looks kind of cool. That might have been a selling point for me, was seeing that picture just because it was neat. They have a little color guide over here, but the color guide, at least for the Classic Enterprise, is completely useless if you want to make it accurate. You'll see, it was so bizarre. This model, well, we'll get to it. Anyway, so yeah, let's check it out. Let's crack it open. And like I said, I have one of these, but I did not have. I have one of the JJ Enterprises, but I do not have the Revell version of the Classic Enterprise. I don't have the Klingon Battlecruiser either. I gotta get that. I do have the Voyager, which is the same release. I think they updated the decals, which look fantastic. They also included the special edition version that had the shuttle bay, and I assume that was just a permanent add-on to the tool, which is pretty awesome in the little shuttlecraft. But anyway, let's check it out. So first, well, let's do this one since I'm more familiar with it. You've got your JJ Mobile all packaged up. There are many good unboxing reviews. I won't do a whole thing out there for all this, but we'll open up the parts and look at them. Jay Chadlick, I think his name is, on YouTube. He has an excellent review. I think TrekWorks has a really good one also. So if you want a super in-depth look, you might check out those. But it's all very nicely packaged. Now, I think it would have been cool, since it's a new release, why don't they just release it and include the alternate impulse engine? I mean, I'm sure you could add that on, and just, it could be a piece that, you know, slots into here and fits over that without having to do major modifications. I mean, if you wanted to light it, you have to cut out areas, but I just think that would be really cool if they could have included that. Granted, I think there's a bunch more modifications to it, like the nacelles and stuff like that, but I think that would have been a neat add-on just to have for the re-release. I mean, it would have been cool if they did the Star Trek Beyond wacky refit with the wacky swept-back nacelles, just to be, you know, for a new release. But oh well. Anyway, but we've got very nice clear parts. And I'm in the middle of building mine. What I was originally going to do was make a retro prize, so the JJ Mobile, but you know, a TOS gray with TOS graphics. But I don't think the one that Aztec Dummy did can possibly be topped. That thing is glorious. I remember when I saw the pictures of it at Wonderfest and my jaw broke and then fell off and wandered into a gutter somewhere. So I was like, I don't think I can beat that, but I do have another idea. I have another idea I'll give you one hint. Da dun 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 dun. We'll go with that. We'll see if I ever get around to doing it, but it might be interesting. Anyway, but very nice, huge Delta Shield base. Got our warp engines, and this is a really good kit. I mean, you know, opinions on the JJ Enterprise aside, they really did some good engineering on this kit, and it looks really accurate and it's really detailed. All the windows are cut out. You got clear inserts for that. Painting it is super easy in terms of like sub-assemblies. Like they did a really cool job. Like all the bridge tower, or this whole bridge area, is like 4 separate pieces that interlock underneath, and it makes it super easy to paint them. Like the little gold area on the bridge that wraps around the front of it, or the, you know, atop of the bridge and stuff like that. And it's so cool. So I really like this kit. I think they really did a good job, and it's been a pleasure to build. I keep taping it up and just looking at it just to see it in all its JJ-ness. I have a love-hate relationship with this ship. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I hate it. So I just middle out. I like the Beyond version for some reason. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. It's so weird looking. I like it. It's like, you know, a circus thing. But hopefully it'll be cool. I guess for the, 10 minutes that it's on screen and then it gets blown up. So I guess we get to enjoy it for that. I'm hopeful that the Enterprise A is going to be beyond cool. So hopefully they just don't do the movie thing where they just reuse the same ship, you know. But we'll see. Anyway, but that's that. All that good stuff. So like I said, same kit. Hopefully you won't have this problem. One slight problem I had is the bag, the tape from this bag, or maybe this bag, had stuck to the back of the decals. Fortunately, it was the back, but it did cause a little rip. Oop. Have I been in frame at all? Sorry. But as far as I can tell, the decals are exactly the same. I wish they would have updated them to have the... That was a little bent. There's supposed to be that little red stripe that goes around, and I think some of the... There's supposed to be a notch there, and the font's supposed to be different. Or the, well, I don't know. No, I'm not sure. Is it notch? I don't know. Someone can answer me. Does it notch like that, or does it notch forward, or like at an angle? I don't know. Anyway, I should have brought my other decal set to compare. But one thing that is a major change is the instruction sheet in all full color gloriness. The very nice image of the ship, very nice paper. You get your color callouts. These might be good, but when we get to the TOS Enterprise, it's bizarre. Nice color callouts, more color callouts. Example of how to mix. Then you got your sprue trees. You can see all the stacking of the, I guess this, well, that's the bridge. Then you got a nice Aztec painting guide, which is very cool. Very difficult, but very cool. You can buy, fortunately you can buy the Aztec mask set. I love how this fits in here. You make your whole, all right. You go over there. You make this whole assembly, right? And then you did this in, but the cool thing is it's a twist lock. So if you wanted to put like a 9-volt battery in the secondary hull to light everything and keep it all, you know, contained and not have to have a cord on it, you could do that. I mean, the 9-volt would probably drain pretty quick depending on what you put in there, but it's pretty neat that they designed it that way to be the little twist lock on that. So very neat. Very, very cool. And some more Aztec painting guide, things like that. Mounting, and then decal placements, and all that stuff in color, which is very nice. More of that. Compare that to, I mean, they're pretty much exactly the same, but these are the old directions on just regular paper, and they're still good. It's just the color ones are much nicer, but it's still very effective. I had a problem with Revell, but maybe not Revell Germany, America, Revell for the whole Star Wars Bondi debacle. Hopefully that gets worked out, because I love those Bondi kits, because I have, what, 7 X-Wings, 8 if you count the T-70. It's absurd. And TIE Fighters, and Y-Wings. I got to get the A-Wing and the TIE Interceptor and all those other stuff. Anyway, there you go. There's the JJ Mobile. Here is the little POC of stuff. As you can see, my red had a bloody explosion, so that's unfortunate. But I mean, I probably wasn't going to use those anyway, just because you can't really brush on stuff like that. Maybe the glue's nice, I don't know. Still kind of cool that they included that, especially if you're just starting off. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong, whatever level you are, as long as you have the enthusiasm, you can paint it and build it however you want. All right, so here's this. I guess let's start off with the directions. Also included, I don't know what the original directions looked like. I assume they were like those ones over, the other ones we just showed, the original directions. You'll see this one's skill level 3, the other one is skill level 4. So very nice graphics, the do's and don'ts, the instruction things. Okay, well, let's get to this in a second. You got your tree layouts. This one, like the other one, all the windows are cut out, which is very nice, and they have little inserts. Very well engineered kit, very well detailed kit from whatever reference they use, but we'll talk about that. Here's the decal sheet. I believe this is the exact same one as the original release. Cool thing that they included the dedication plaques, and also they are done with metallic ink, so that makes it even cooler. You got Constellation, Potemkin, and Enterprise. And I think it was Jay Chadlick's video. He was suspecting that they put Potemkin as the other one because that was a Russian ship, and Revell Germany, it's a European thing, so it might be more interested in that region. Which I think I might do the Potemkin just to be different, since I have so many Enterprises, and I'm going to do at least one Constellation, if not 3, one AMT one, and possibly a 1000, and maybe a 1350. We'll see how psychotic I am, but they're printed by Cartograph in Italy, as far as I know, so that's pretty cool. Very nice decals. Anyway, moving on. So we've got this, more of this, deflector dish. Like I said, I've never built one of these before, so I don't have too much commentary on the construction, but from what I see, it looks very nice. Decal guide and all that. So there's the directions. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So this is bizarre. Did you know that the Enterprise was painted 60% light gray silk matte, white silk, 30% white silk matte, and 10% aluminum metallic? Did you know that? Did you know that? What? What? I mean, in 2000, when did this originally come out? I assume the directions are the same from the original release. They probably didn't change anything. But even in 2011, 12, whenever this came out, I don't even know when it originally came out. Something like that. 13, whatever, around there. Even then, we had a better idea of what the real color of the ship was. What the hell is this? What are these colors? It's so bizarre. Like, where do you use a Lufthansa blue light gray mix? What is that? It's so bizarre. And then on the other hand, what references did they use for this thing? Just bear with me. Look at the proportions of this. The proportions and some of the bizarre choices they made. I'm wondering if they were like, they had to make it different, like they were forced to make it different from like this model, and then the probably in development at the time, the 350 refit, like they were like, it has to be completely different, and because that would explain the panel lines or something. I don't know. I don't know what the decision process was, because it's just baffling. Like I said, the grid lines, I could see what they were doing there. They're trying to make it more detailed, so they put the grid lines on it. In fact, I think what I'm going to do with this one is try to paint it in the Edme Recce Smithsonian, you know, the 91 to 2014 paint scheme with the weathering and the super heavy panel lines, just to be different, just to make it something new. Although, now that I'm looking at this in person, the detail is fantastic. It's weird and wrong. Like, look how that sits. That's so bizarre. And the windows are like really square. You'll especially see that in the secondary hull, but I mean, having said that, it's still really nice. I mean, I'd want to just start ripping it apart and putting it together right now. The detail's really nice. It's very smooth. I bet it fits together fantastic. I have no doubts of that. That's not the right bag. Whatever. Do that later. Here we go with, yeah, okay, here you go. And one thing I do appreciate about this also is in terms of the grid lines is if you're gonna do it, do the whole thing or don't do it at all. That's kind of my opinion. It's like, it looks weird if it's just the saucer with the grid lines and everything else is smooth, in my opinion. So it's like, do one, preferably not, but if you're gonna do it, do the whole thing. But yeah, look at those windows. It's so strange. They're so squared off, and just the proportions are very bizarre. But again, I'm looking at it and it looks so fun to put together in terms of fit and, you know, solidness. I don't think that's a word. Some sort of. They kind of have a 1/1000 scale Enterprise nacelle attachment thing going on, where you've got the two. Let's see. I think they're two halves that stick on there, and then you've got another piece, which I believe is this one right here. That's the capper of the top, and then it's just one piece that all fits in there, as opposed to two separate pylons going in. So that's kind of nice. And it's obviously meant to be lit. It's all hollow, very easy accessible. Let's look at those engines. They have a taper, which is nice. They got the grid lines on them. These kind of suck, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's almost like they're photo etched, like they're just completely flat and then have this kind of inset detail. But I remember in another video someone was saying they'll probably just use the old AMT flux intercooler loops or whatever for those. And they're kind of placed weird too. I was noticing, like, if you look on here, they look very widely, I don't know, very shallow angle, so that's kind of strange. But of course nothing that anybody couldn't fix, although I guess you'd have to. It's kind of strange. The little peg holes are very small, and there's kind of a little trench for it to sit in, so it might require some modification. These would be very easy to modify. Well, first of all, they're very easy to paint. You just paint those, and then you just put them on there. You don't have to worry about trying to mask that, unless you wanted to. But these would be very easy to turn into pilot versions. You could just fill those in, which is very cool. All these are separate. They're kind of wacky. I don't know why they're trapezoidal for some reason, but whatever. Interesting. Let's see if I can get on that. Very interesting detail on this. Almost looks like communicator grill circles. So that's that. It's so weird. I don't know how to feel about this kit. The detail is so nice and the engineering looks so nice, but the accuracy details are just so bizarre. This is cool. These are like inner frames that go on the inside of the secondary hull. You can see right here and here, and they act as support, but then what they've done is made them nice and hollow, so it's easy to get wires and stuff like that in there. So, and maybe if this functions like the Into Darkness Enterprise, it might also be where you can take out the deflector dish and have a battery pack in there that's easily changeable. So we'll see about that, because it kind of has those tabs, so we'll see how that works. I don't know what is going on with this deflector dish. This thing is so bizarre. I've said bizarre like 80 times. I'm going to try to stop using that. Like, here's the antenna, which actually, when I look at it here, it doesn't look too bad, but I don't know, the dish itself just looks very strange, especially with the raised panel lines on it, and just the scale of it. Oh, there it doesn't look too bad, but when you look at it on the, especially on this, it looks so weird. So, whatever. But, and as far as I know, this is also the same as the original release. I don't know if the colors are the same or what, but then you've got a very nice Delta shield, which is different than the Into Darkness version. Here's another weird thing. You'll notice these on the shuttle bay are actually raised for some reason. The impulse engine looks cool, although I don't think it's not supposed to be recessed like that. The bridge is huge. No, I guess it's not that big. Well, okay. This part is big, and this part seems very small. So it's just some weird proportion things. But I don't know. I've just been on an Enterprise kick. I just saw it at the, well, I didn't see it in sorry about that. I didn't see it in person, but I've seen all the pictures people are posting of the Enterprise now in its rightful place in the Smithsonian. So I've been trying to get that thing, or do something with it. I don't know. Been in an Enterprise mode, I guess. I've been working on a 350 pilot version. I haven't decided exactly which way I want to go with in terms of its pilotness. I've filled in the grid lines on the saucer, or I'm filling them in. I started with a very thick scratch filler primer, and that's worked pretty well for the top saucer. It's almost completely gone, but the bottom saucer needs some more work. So, but I wanted to make it smooth. I want to do a couple other things and make it look pilot-y, very pilot-y. This one, like I said, is probably going to be Potemkin with the weathering, the Smithsonian 91 to 2014 weathering. So, but yes, that is the Revell Germany exclusive, or whatever you want to call it, anniversary set. Like I said, you can only get them from Europe, so you'll have to order them via somebody. But I'd say if you don't have either of these kits and you want to build them, I'd say this is the way to go. You get both in one box, which is cool. Nice packaging with a nice 50th anniversary logo on it. Maybe they'll do a Voyager 3-pack with the Voyager, the Maquis Raider, and the Kazon Raider. I can't imagine how expensive and big that box would be, but it'd be kind of cool. I like when they do the little sets like this. And there's also, speaking of sets, I love sets, but they're going to come out with a 2500 scale set that has all the Enterprises, and then they're going to add the NX-01 in 2500 scale from round 2. So that's going to be pretty neat. Hopefully, I think the thing that's to sell that is the packaging. Is what's going to sell that thing. If it's an awesome art piece with all the ships together, and maybe a neat base display stand for them all, because it's like they've had the refit and the Enterprise B and all those ships for years, and just all that to get an NX-01. I'm sure it's going to cost $50 or $60 at least. So, but yes, there is that. I would recommend you pick one up if you want to build either of these kits, and if you already have one, then you have something else to do customization. You can build Constellation, the Enterprise, or the Potemkin with this guy. And yeah, that's all I can say. You can get Aztecing decals or masks for this guy, and I think there are masks for this to do like a Aztec pattern. All these kits both have photo etch sets that you can get from Paragraphics, and what else? You can also get lighting kits for these as well. So, and they even have spinning Bussards and things like that. So, anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time for another episode of Things and Stuff.